Welcome to the Healers Café, the #1 show for medical practitioners and holistic healers to have heart-to-heart conversations about their day-to-day lives while sharing their expertise for improving your health and wellness. So welcome to the Healers Café. And today I have with me Therese Forton Barnes. And she is a household toxin health specialist and coach, and the owner of the Green Living Gurus and Teas Organics. She will guide you through a road to avoid toxins and chemicals that could cause cancer and other illnesses and lead you towards a healthier living, toxic free lifestyle. So that's really what we're going to talk about. And I wanted to start just by the question, what led you into this field, in this particular field?
Yes, thank you. And thank you for having me. So I grew up and I still live in Buffalo, New York. And my mother in the 60s, I have three older sisters and younger brother, was way ahead of her time. And that's when Burger King, McDonald's, and all these other fast foods and chemicals were invading our lives. And she was adamant about us not eating anything processed, but also we had chores every weekend and everything was to be cleaned with vinegar and baking soda, basically.
Mhm.
And I grew up that way. I thought everybody knew that way. I thought that was just the norm until I started getting a little bit older in my teens. And I figured we were the odd ones and we were being called granola heads. And we were shopping at our little co-op, which we still shop at this to this day in Buffalo. But I went away to college in the mid 80s and I decided I wanted to open up a big health food store and show everybody all of how to live a healthier life.
Mm.
I was in my late teens thinking this. I mean, I was just devastated by the amount of bad stuff that was out there. So I had a business major, a minor in health. I had a business plan. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. And I came out of college with this business plan that everybody knows as Whole Foods, which is, our supermarket here, primarily in the US and Canada. But I came out as a party planner. I was also the one planning every party. And I've had a party and wedding and event planning industry for 38 years here in Buffalo. But through the course of the past almost 4 decades, I was the person that everybody came to and said, "Can you look at my house? Can you look at my
Mm.
kitchen? I just got diagnosed with cancer. Do you have any advice?" And I was just doing it on the side for fun, but it was my passion. It's my true passion. It's what
Mm.
I love to do, and I love to help people look at their homes and see potentially where some of these toxins are coming from that could be causing so many health issues, whether it's food or cleaning supplies, etc. So then fast forward 2020, actually prior to the pandemic, I decided after 800 events that I planned, now I'm 61. I decided, the next part of my life, I really want to set it out to do what I planned on doing my whole life. And that was really helping people create a less toxic home, because we never will have a toxic free home, even though I might use that terminology, and decrease the amount of chemicals that we are allowing into our bodies that could potentially be causing cancer and so many other autoimmune illnesses and creating havoc in our health. So that's where I am,
Okay, well, that's a interesting transition, and that sounds like
right?
a lot of well, yeah, I mean, a lot of work and fun also doing
Yes.
hosting all these events. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite interested in the subject matter myself because I don't think we discuss it sufficiently. And I think there's, basic things that people take for granted. You pick
Hmm.
any shampoo, you don't think about the skin as your main organ, right?
Right,
That
right.
thing, right? And we lather on stuff that doesn't have any, known ingredients is because apparently they don't test it like foods, though I now
Exactly.
question whether they even test foods, but that's another story.
Yeah, true.
So so what can you like maybe the top 5 or 10, whatever you feel like that like a checklist, what should we look at that you have found really impacts people's health?
Well, before I go there, I want to go
Mm,
somewhere first
sure.
because history is important for people to understand. Because a lot of people ask me, so why is fragrance allowed in all of these products when it's potentially a carcinogen,
Right.
potentially harming all of our health, potentially causing autoimmune illnesses, potentially causing allergies? Well, I like people to understand the word fragrance first because fragrance in the United States, I don't know what the law is in other countries,
Mm,
but at least in the United States, where a lot of the products come from,
mhm.
fragrance is a word that's on so many products: hair products, lotion, deodorants, shampoos, cleaning supplies, and the list goes on and on. So when you see the word fragrance on a product and on the front, it says lavender scented or ocean breeze,
Mhm.
you really want to question that, especially you want to turn a label around all the time and look at the word fragrance. But the history here, everybody needs to understand this. This is a law from the 1940s in the United States that is was created for Chanel number 5 that went to our government and said, we do not want to disclose what's in our products. So they never had to, and they still don't. No perfume will ever tell you what ingredients are in their perfume because of this law. But
Mhm.
that law, so you can make a product and you can put fragrance in it. You can put 50 carcinogens in there and nobody's going to question you. It's all on that company to do the testing. And we know where that really resides.
That goes, yeah.
And exactly. It's all about the money and the money they're making. So the word fragrance, perfume, those are 3 key words that you always want to avoid.
Mhm.
It's the first thing that I do with everybody I talk to, because you avoid that word fragrance, which is probably one of the hardest words to avoid because most people want that smell of lemon or lime or
Mhm.
lavender, whatever, in their products, and they think it's okay. It's not okay. And the myriad of chemicals that make up those fragrance perfumes in all these products, and you think your hair smells beautiful or your lotion's lovely or your cleaning supplies smell like lemon fresh, it's not. It's chemicals that you are spraying consistently in your home to clean your dishes, to clean your home, to clean your body, to lather it in lotion, our largest organ. And that's what I try to get everybody to first look at. Because once you understand that, and you understand that fragrance is the other F word, as I like to call it in our industry,
Mhm.
that is the biggest eye opener to everything you touch in your entire life. It's hard. Laundry detergent, also. Dryer sheets, also. Any fabric softeners. I mean, all of those, and we're all attached to a scent, probably from when we grew up and we thought our clothes were clean because of this fragrance.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, our clothes are dirty because of fragrance. So
Yeah. Right.
that is the number one
Mhm.
thing that I always bring up
Yeah.
in all my
And,
sessions.
and I was gonna say it's not obvious that a
No.
fragrance means an artificially made fragrance, right? Because you have like bushes of lavender, and you think about the village in the south of France, and
Mm.
sheets are outside in the wind with lavender, you know, you know. But I was going to share this with food, and I know that's not our subject exactly, but that's where I opened my eyes. Is it in Europe? You have the food coloring, and they tell you which color, but they also have to tell you which cancer is associated to the color. So you know that yellow is more likely to give you up. I'm not remembering them all because I don't buy anything that has coloring. I just, I'm very strict with that.
Right.
But I think it's kidney, and green is this, and all of them have a different thing. So I haven't seen it for fragrances, which is interesting, and that wouldn't have automatically come to mind, that of course they're synthetic, they're
Yeah.
man-made, right?
Man-made. And the other thing to remember there, because my friends will give me gifts once in a while, and I'd be like, they're all scared to give me anything product, because I'm like, they know I'm gonna turn it around. Naturally scented. Anything with the word natural, be careful. But naturally scented with essential oils, you'll see that a lot. That's a huge problem. Love essential oils. The problem is that they are being used to make the consumer think that these products are made with essential oils. So they'll say made with essential oils. And in the United States, it only has to have 2% essential oils in it to let them put that on the front label. So made with essential oils with lavender and jasmine or rose or whatever. And then you go through the ingredients and you see fragrance, and it's just, it's a farce, and it's a greenwashing. And we as consumers need to pay attention to our labels and every ingredient in them, so we know what we are using in our homes, using on our bodies, because we need our homes to be as least toxic as possible, considering that's where we spend most of our time.
Okay, and that was the first one, fragrance.
Yeah, okay.
Let's keep going.
We didn't even get further than fragrance, did we?
So what would you say next that people look at?
So I want to take products, because where people can make the most impact on making their homes healthier, our homes are considered between 2 and 100 times more toxic than the outdoor air, because of products that we are using in our homes, not even in our bodies. We're not even going to talk about that right now, but the air we're breathing, what you're cleaning with in your home is so important, because cleaning supplies, another one. And I keep referring back to US laws because that's what I'm most familiar with.
Sure.
I know European Union is much more strict, but the cleaning supplies that are out there are loaded with chemicals. And those chemicals that you're using are in the air in your home, they're on the counter in your home. You are constantly using them, then you're breathing them in one way or another. Dish soap, you're standing over your if you're hand washing your dishes, you're standing over your sink with hot water with some green or blue that they want you to think is good cleaning soap. You're breathing in these chemicals constantly, whether or not you like it, but those are fumes that are, and especially with hot water, are coming into your body, your lungs, etc. So these are things that can affect your health. And the more our body has to work on getting these chemicals out of our body somehow, one way or another, our organs are being overworked. So you want to avoid those as much as possible. What do we do? What do we clean with? Well, as I mentioned, go back to the basics if you want to, or there are some healthier options out there all over the world. There are, not just in the United States. I mean, I do have a product line that I make here, or we make here in Buffalo, but there are so many good options out there right now. 10 years ago, there wasn't. And just, I always try to get people to research it. Same with laundry detergent, exact same thing. What's in your laundry detergent? You're sleeping in it. You are breathing in the fumes that are off-gassing from your clothes all day long. Your dryer is heating up all these chemicals. So you just want to pay attention. Those are two of the biggest areas that I always get people to try to pay attention to. And what I try to tell people to do is take your laundry detergent, take your dish soap, take all your cleaning supplies, put them in a box. Do not throw them away. Put them in a box, put them aside for a month. Go get all the non-toxic ones. 7th generation is a very good option. Maybe try cleaning just with vinegar and water and fresh soap. Dr. Bronner's is world renowned. Dr. Bronner's is soap that's all I will clean with if I need some soap for our toilet or whatnot. Use Dr. Bronner's in your kitchen sink for your dishes.
What is the ingredient? I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh, Dr. Bronner's is a world renowned. They've been around since the 1970s, one of the original. They have, it's pure Castile soap.
Castile soap. Okay.
Yep.
Mhm.
And they have different,
Yep.
they have a spearmint one. They have one that's made for babies. It's very, I love their whole line.
Mhm.
Dr. Bronner's, it's called.
What would your life be like if you were pain-free? If you were one of the millions who suffer from chronic pain, the thought of just one day without it may seem impossible. This is often because conventional medicine tends to fall short in the treatment of pain, opting to prescribe pills or recommend surgery rather than getting to the root cause of the problem. But if you are suffering with emotional or physical pain, there is hope. Join the founder and CEO of Bowen College, Manon Bolliger, live online for your body-mind reboot. Learn how to listen to your symptoms and get to the root cause of your pain. Plus, be trained in basic Bowen therapy moves so that you can reboot your body for optimal health. You don't have to live in pain. You can heal. Stop the pain pill cycle by visiting www.yourbodymindreboot.com to learn more and to register.
But try just eliminating what you're using for a month and see if you're having ailments. And I'll tell you 100% of the time that I get people to do this, they realize they're not waking up with a sore throat. They're not wheezing in the middle of the night. They're sleeping better. They're breathing better. They feel better. Their air is cleaner. You don't need 14 different products to clean your home that these manufacturers are trying to convince you that you need to clean in your home. And it's not clean. You're poisoning your home, in my personal opinion, with toxic chemicals every single day. So that's just a little task that I tell people try to do. Try to do. If you can't live without that scent, that smell, I can't help with that, but essential oils, if you really want something for your clothes to smell like something, try using essential oils. I like my clothes not to smell like something. We like our clothes to smell like our clothes. We like our clothes to smell like, what we're wearing and not what is poison, could be poisonous and toxic chemicals.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me, but there's been so much, I guess, advertising, and a lot to make people feel like that's what they need, and that's they feel clean and fresh just because they're they smell like a plant or
right, of course. The ocean. Smell like the ocean breeze. I'm like, the ocean breeze. And you know how many chemicals are being put in there to make it, you think that it's the ocean breeze? And then they have to put all these other chemicals in them to mask the chemicals that they're using to make it smell like ocean breeze. So they're pouring all these I've
Yeah.
spoken to scientists before that have worked in labs, and they're like, you would be amazed at what goes into these fragrance vats that
Yeah.
have to be made up to make it smell like ocean breeze. It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
Well, I can't. This is one of our small disagreements with my offsprings, and
it's
it's
hard.
interesting. It's hard, and she likes to put it in the car,
Oh
and
yeah.
I can't get in the car without coughing and choking.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like once you're cleaner, it's almost as if your body really can't. It knows right away, whoa, this isn't good for me, and it
Yep.
just wants out, you know. But
Yeah.
the thing is, you know, it's the same with food. You can eat lots of toxic food. The more you eat of it, the less your body really gives you the signals that you can read, you know. And it's the
Mhm.
same with, if your environment is clean, then you actually you're more alert to what changes in it and
E-
what doesn't fit, you know. So
Exactly.
yeah.
I mean, I talk to a lot of people that have sleeping problems, and I try to get them to do this whole session where they clean their bedrooms. Our bedrooms are so polluted. I love for people to have an air purifier. That also helps with your air and the dust and everything. But try washing your sheets in nothing but non-toxic laundry detergent, and it all, I mean, people, I didn't wake up with a headache. I don't have a sore throat. I didn't wake up sneezing. I mean, these are just some things that anybody can try on their own and see how it works.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now with so we talked about fragrances, we talked about just using very simple products to clean the house, and you mentioned a few brands. um, let's go for this one, because this is a one that I've had people say to me, well, you can't beat Windex.
Mm.
So what do you have an idea of what you know, people like their clean windows, and there's these cloths, you know, that you can buy, I forget what they're called, which do a, you know, fairly good job.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not where you'd use vinegar or other things. Have you come across a magical Windex replacement?
Well, for people that want that sparkly, clean window that they advertise to, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Growing up, we washed our windows with vinegar and newspapers.
Right. That's
That
right.
is how we cleaned our windows. I clean my windows with my all-purpose cleaner, but Windex is, if you look, that's the thing you need to do. What would you prefer? Clean windows or potentially harming your health? Look at what's in Windex. Look at what I think ammonia is in Windex, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I
I think
mean,
you're right.
yeah, I think so. Look at what's in your product. I mean, if you want that product in your home, it's going in your body one way or another. You're breathing it in, potentially touching it, going into your skin. Who knows? Windex scares me because it's airborne and it's adding to the polluted indoor air that you potentially are breathing in. So, I grew up again using a vinegar. So some people will not use that. I'm not trying to promote my all-purpose cleaner, but you can make your own, and you can, I put essential oils in with the vinegar and water. So that 409, all those products are just potentially harming your health. That's the bottom line that you have to really consider. What's more important, clean
What
windows or your health?
Yeah, and what are the common signs. I mean, you mentioned people having headaches,
Mm.
cough, sneezing, that type of thing. What else have you noticed? Like a person may be going, oh, this could be my environment, and then they could test, that 1 month, get rid of all of those things and see if there's a difference. So what would you, is there anything else to that list that you've noticed?
Allergies. People
Allergy.
think it's allergies. They think they have sinus issues all the time.
Right.
Allergies. Oh the pollen. I had a girlfriend who called me the other day. She said, oh my God, I slept at my girlfriend's house. I woke up with the biggest headache. She complains that she has bad allergies. She can't breathe. She can't sleep at night. She's got this, she thinks it's the air. It's in Florida too. And she said, I need you to talk to her. I walked out of there at 4 a.m. I couldn't sleep in her bedding anymore because it was giving me a headache and I had a sore throat when I woke up in the morning. So she, I have certain people, and she was one that I had to, took me a while to get her off dryer sheets and fragrance laundry soap. You don't know, you do not know you feel bad until you feel better. And that's why I try to get people to slowly
Right.
make those changes. And then all of a sudden you'll see, hopefully you'll see that wow, I feel better. I feel better when I wake up in the morning without these chemicals in my pillows and my sheets and breathing them in every day. I feel better that I'm not breathing in all those chemicals, and people just start realizing like, wow, this is really incredible what a change that it can make in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking too, I've seen from experience here, toxins that are, the off-gassing of
Mm,
new materials. A lot of it's not wood anymore, it's, um, particle board, the
right.
floors, all the glues, like, we're constantly, and these fire retardant, couches at some places you won't get insurance unless you get them, which is
Crazy.
it's crazy, so
Yeah. The
yeah.
flame retardants. Okay. I love history. The flame retardants is a crazy story. Why furniture is sprayed with flame retardants. Even children's sleepwear
Correct,
sprayed
yeah.
with flame retardants
Mhm.
in I think it was the 60s. I can't remember the year, but the cigarette companies, the government went to the cigarette companies and said, people are falling asleep in bed with cigarettes in their hands. You've got to do something to your cigarettes to make sure those cigarettes burn out before they set the bed on fire.
Mm.
And they came back to the government, of course, and said, well, wait, we have a better idea. Why don't we just spray everything with flame retardants and then that nothing will light up in fire, including children's sleepwear.
Yeah, I think that was
And
3mm, right? The wasn't that the big company that was
3M?
yeah,
Yeah,
3M.
one of them.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I
And
remember.
it's things are turning now, especially with California and their Proposition 65, the law where you have to disclose or they will not sell the products if it has any of those chemicals in it. But things are changing. Canada, on the other hand, did not, if I remember correctly, abide by those laws. My sister used to go over to Canada to buy their kids sleepwear because we live in Buffalo, right on the border. But those things are starting to change. Now they're starting to see how toxic flame retardants can be.
Yeah.
That is in so many different furnishings and rugs and being sprayed on so many different products that we are bringing in our homes. So that's another thing. I'm glad you brought it up to consider. And many of them are known carcinogens, and there's been laws that have just been passed regarding firemen who have to fight these battles in houses, and their cancer rates are so high because of these
Yeah.
flame retardants.
Yeah, So our time is almost up, but I wanted, people to know that you do have a podcast, and can you tell us a little bit in, a few more minutes, either anything else that we really need to know about this, and then how people can get in touch with you or follow.
Sure. Yeah, so my uh, you take your time. Do not try to go through your house and throw everything away unless you really want to. Then call me and I have so much fun with that with you. But the take your time. Don't throw anything away. Put it in a box. Start looking at labels, reading those ingredients. Start understanding some of these ingredients that you always want to avoid. As I mentioned, fragrance, the number one ingredient you always want to avoid. So turn that label around. Don't look at the front of the bottle. Don't listen to what they're trying to tell you that's healthy or natural or aloes in it or lavender's in it. They're trying to get you to think that it's a healthy ingredient or a healthy product. Turn the label around. Always read the label and start Googling some of these ingredients. And if you're putting it on your body, it's going into your body. Yeah. Our skin is our number one organ. So or read what you're cleaning with. You're breathing those ingredients in, and start learning how to protect your home and making it a healthier environment for you and your family. So that's what I would say. And you can always shoot me questions. I'm very accessible at the Green Living Gurus on my website. That's a podcast is on there too. My podcast is Green Living with T, which is my nickname, TEE, not TEA. And my social media is all over the website as well.
Okay. Well, I do think more people are definitely going to wake up to this,
Yeah.
And stop trusting, all the propaganda.
Yep.
All the, the companies that, profit is their number one objective.
Absolutely.
And then, these relationships with our governments that go in the same direction, so it's
Yep.
it's not health first, and that's really our job, and we need to do our homework, I think. Very well said.
Exactly.
So thank you for sharing your knowledge and your passion.
You are welcome, and thank you for having me on, and thank you for everything you are doing as well.
Thank you for joining us at the Healers Café. If you haven't already done so, please like, comment, and subscribe with notifications on, as I post a new podcast every Wednesday with tons of useful information and tips for natural healing that you won't want to miss.